Good morning. It has already been a busy day. What can I tell you? Running a little late in terms of getting to the office. Oh, it's sunny. It's lovely. I love this time of year in Northern Illinois. The days are long and it's warm, although it was a little brisk this morning. So we've been talking about making a decision. That is how you get from where you are to where you want to go, is you decide. You know, Tony Robbins says that if you want to change your life, the one thing that you can do is raise your standards. And that sounds so simple and simplistic, but it's also accurate. Well, when you raise your standards, you're making a decision. You're deciding that you're going to live life in a different way. You're going to live life at another level. And that's the same thing. That decision cuts off all other options. So now you make a decision. I'm going to live at this level of health. I'm going to live at this level of my finances. I'm going to live at this level with regards to my relationships. Now, when you do that, does then everything happen just like that? No, not at all. In fact, the opposite. If you ever saw the movie Titanic, you know, right before they hit the iceberg, they turned the wheel all the way in one direction and the ship did nothing. It just kept going forward. Even though the rudder was completely hard over, that ship just kept heading in the same direction. Why? Because it had momentum going in that direction. So it took it a while before the rudder finally took hold and started actually turning the ship. Well, we're the same way. When you make a major decision, you've got momentum in the opposite direction. So if you're headed this way and you make a decision that now you're going to go that way, you've got a ton of momentum going this way. So when you turn your rudder, it's going to take a while for it to turn around and go the other direction. And that's where a lot of people end up losing hope, losing faith, losing determination, losing desire, and walking away from their decision and moving on and doing the same thing that they've been doing. And remember, there's two types of pains, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces and regret weighs tons. The way that you keep going is you do the little things. Sow a thought, reap an action, sow an action, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a character, sow a character, reap a destiny. So your mind is where you start all this, and we use our physiology to control how we feel. That's how you do the little things every day, and those little things become big things. We way overestimate what we can do in a year, but we way underestimate what we can do in 5. You know, I take a look at 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we were in our shutdown. I hadn't done a single Tony Robbins event as a senior leader, and now, you know, I've been a trainer in Fiji. I take a look at my relationships, look at finances, look at where the office is compared to where it was. And it's amazing what's happened in 3 years. So that's how you got to look at it. You got to look at things long term. You know, when my clients get significantly injured, you know, I'll see them in increments. You know, usually I'll see them once a month, once every couple of months. It kind of depends. And it's funny because they'll come in and we'll be like, oh my God, look how much you've improved. And they'll say, well, that's nice to hear. I didn't really feel like I was getting any better. Well, to them, they don't see the changes because they're so small. But over time, those changes are significant. So that's why it's a good idea to keep a journal. That's why it's a good idea to every now and then just take stock of where you are compared to where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. But when you make that decision, know that it's going to take a while before that rudder starts turning the Titanic, before it starts turning, let's not say Titanic, before it starts turning the Queen Mary. Okay, you can't turn the Queen Mary on a dime. You got to wait a little while before you get to the next thing. So you just got to keep going. You got to manage your thoughts. You got to manage the little monkey mind, as they call it. You got to manage the little mind in your head that says, you know, stop, go back, do something different. No, keep going to where you're headed. Keep going to the outcomes that you're looking for. Focus on them every day. Every day, say to yourself, this is where I'm headed. Upload that every morning. That's why priming is so important. That's why you want to do priming all the time, so that you can tell yourself when your brain is vacant in the morning, you can say, this is where I'm headed. This is where I'm going. Thank you for watching, everybody. Katie, my backyard is awesome. I know, look at that. Tanya has done tons of work. It's like a whole nother room down there. And Brian has helped us out too, who's on here. Good morning, everybody. Brian, good morning. Bill, good morning. Katie, good morning. Great to see everybody today. I'm really honored that you take the time to watch. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.